This is how I use spirituality for spring cleaning when I'm naturally not a very tidy person. I'm not a slob by any means, but I wouldn't say that I'm a clean freak. Definitely not a clean freak. Now, would someone who's OCD say that I'm a slob? Probably not, but maybe. But in this video, I wanted to share with you how myself, as someone who kind of hates cleaning and hates or strongly dislikes tidying up, I've kind of forced my brain and built new habits around spiritual wellness and things that are important to me concerning spirituality and Indigenous teachings that have helped me to create more of a clean space that I am occupying and a cleaner environment for my home. And it's all relevant in the topic of spring cleaning. Now, let this be an inspiration for some of you who feel like maybe you're just an untidy person, maybe you're a messy person, but for some reason you're watching this video because you want to do a big spring clean, you want to reorganize or declutter your space for some reason, you're wanting some internal motivation and some strategies for doing that. And I have 5 ways that you can use Indigenous spirituality to help motivate you and help you unlock those thought patterns, those spiritual feelings that can help you to be more motivated to cleanse your space, whether it's a spiritual cleanse, physical cleanse, decluttering your room or your entire home or wherever you want to focus on first. So if you think that you're an untidy and messy person and that's just who you are and you aren't changing, let me tell you right now, that's a limiting belief and you absolutely can change. You just need to find the things that work for you personally and the inner motivations that can help you to either do a big spring clean, a seasonal clean, or ongoing cleaning and cleansing and decluttering of your space to create a more positive environment for yourself that you can live in harmony and in balance. All of those good, peaceful, calm, and loving feelings that we all want to embody in our sacred spaces at home. Now, let me tell you, you can change if you want to. I have done it myself. My entire childhood, I wasn't a slob or like really messy, but I definitely had to force myself. It did not come naturally at all to clean my room or to clean my space or to have clean and orderly things. Teachings that I want to share with you today are things that can help you to make small changes and make small mindset shifts that can help you to have a more organized and clean space so that you can have a more calm and peaceful environment, because that's exactly what will happen when you do spring cleaning, when you do spiritual cleaning. And I'm going to tell you why as we go through this video and talk about the 5 ways that I personally use spirituality to help with spring cleaning and decluttering and all of the things involving honoring your space and honoring your possessions and all of the energies around you. So the first way that I use spirituality for spring cleaning is to redefine what spring cleaning is and what seasonal cleaning is. So what is spring cleaning? I believe that spring cleaning was introduced by marketers and big box retailers and brands that wanted to sell cleaning supplies and organizing supplies. I don't know if that's actually true. I think that there's a lot to be said for doing cleansing and decluttering in the springtime in an Indigenous cultural context because of the nature that comes with spring and the new beginning. However, I also think that spring cleaning isn't something that should just happen in springtime. It's something that you can absolutely do at the start of any season or at the start of any month or any time for that matter for you to embark on a cleansing or cleaning project because of the nature of springtime. Now, what is seasonal cleaning and ongoing cleaning and how is it different? Ongoing cleaning is just general maintenance of your space, making sure that you have clean and like disinfected and not dirty areas, right? Whereas seasonal cleaning is going through and maybe getting rid of items that you don't use, decluttering your closets or clothes or items that you've been collecting over time, whether it's just because they're sentimental to you. I mean, we hang on to items for so many different reasons, right? Ongoing cleaning, however, is just the basic sweeping and tidying and taking care of your space on an ongoing basis. And I find that the more that you do ongoing cleaning, the less that you'll have to do your seasonal cleaning or your spring cleaning. Am I right? For me personally, I do extra cleansing and decluttering in the springtime, but I also do it at the beginning of every single season. And that is for the spiritual reasons that I'll share about in today's video. But I also believe that it's important to always keep your space clean and organized, honor and respect your space as much as you can, and you'll soon see why that's really valuable to yourself mentally and spiritually, emotionally, physically. Now, like I mentioned, I do extra cleansing in the springtime just because of the spiritual significance of the season, spring, and how important it is for the reawakening of life and of nature and of all living beings kind of coming awake from hibernation, the regrowth and renewal of all of Mother Earth. So now you know the difference between spring cleaning and seasonal cleaning and ongoing cleaning. Hopefully the season of spring can also help you to feel motivated and inspired to do some spring cleaning. But now I want to move on to number 2. Now, the second way that I approach spring cleaning from a spiritual sense is to make the connection between how your energy within your space affects your personal energy within. So what I mean by the connection between the energy around you and how it affects your energy within you is if the space around you is really cluttered and messy and there's things everywhere, it's not a surprise that you're not going to feel super uplifted, motivated, and great, right? You might be all right that way, but there's research that shows that when you are consuming information, even if it's all of the items in your space that you are seeing and processing in your brain, the more cluttered and messy it is, it makes your brain work harder. It makes the energy in your being, in your physical being, and your mental being work harder because you're taking in more information and there's more messy, clustered information for you to actually process. So there's a proven connection between your mood and how you're feeling and the space that you're occupying. So if the space that you're occupying is really messy and doesn't make you feel good, then it's going to be really difficult to feel good and to be able to be in a good mood and live happily because you're going to feel overwhelmed by all of the different items that are in your space that aren't necessarily organized. So for me personally, I lean on teachings like the medicine wheel teaching of connectivity that tells us how our physical space is so deeply connected to our spiritual, mental, and emotional being. Our emotional being means how we feel, right? So if we come home to a really clean and organized, fresh space, we are going to feel better. For myself personally, I work from home and I know that when my space is really nice and clean and organized and there isn't a lot to look at or to feel overwhelmed by, I am able to mentally, intellectually perform better, be at a more creative state, be more inspired, and be able to think and be more productive and focused, right? So that's how our intellectual, mental state of being is really influenced by our physical space and why it's so important to respect and take care of our space so that we can work and focus and be present in our optimal self. So now that you know how the difference between spring and seasonal cleaning and why there's that spiritual connection between the connectivity of our physical being and our mental or emotional being, the medicine wheel teaching, and how that impacts the cleanliness of our space and how organized our space is. Now we know that it's important, but how do you actually take action, right? How do you take action and make changes, change your habits in order to actually clean your space or live in a more orderly environment if you're naturally not used to living that way? Or if maybe the state of your room or your office space or your kitchen is a disaster, what can you do to actually motivate yourself if you know it's important, but it's still difficult for you to take those first steps? That leads us to the third way that I personally use spirituality to help with spring cleaning or seasonal cleaning is by finding out exactly what is motivating for myself personally. This all reflects back on our self-connection, self-reflection, looking into the mirror and understanding your own values and beliefs. So I reflect on my values, my motivators, to help me find those inner triggers that can help me to feel the most motivated and inspired in order to make some changes. Either to make changes or to continue on and to keep my space honored and respected and clean and like I care about my environment, or just to start being tidier than I am right now. So full disclosure, everyone, the space that's behind me, and 99% of the time when I film my YouTube videos, I am motivated to have a clean background for my YouTube videos. So that's just an example of having that motivation and having something that is inspiring you, or a reason, a strong reason in order to do a clean or a cleanse or whatever the case may be, that you want to clean your space so that it's ready to go for either an audience or family or guests, a party, or your spouse, or just yourself. The fourth way that I personally use spirituality for spring cleaning is to reflect on Indigenous worldview. Indigenous worldview means how we view ourselves in relation to the world around us. So our values, values and beliefs, our view on the world as we are within the world, and our position in all energies and all being in the universe. So there are many intricacies of Indigenous worldview and many different perspectives and micro teachings within it. But on a high level, in Indigenous worldview, the basic teaching or basic understanding of Indigenous worldview is that all living beings on Mother Earth and all living beings in the entire universe are all in a circle and are balanced and equal. There is not any sense of hierarchy. There is not one being or living thing that is higher or better than any other. So the Western worldview is more in a line where there is like man and then animals and plants underneath, and there's like a sense of a hierarchy. Whereas Indigenous worldview, there's an interconnected system and it's a balanced circle where everyone is equally valuable, equally important, and has a really crucial and valuable role to play in the function and connectivity of all life. So what this means is that all things are equal, all living beings have a spirit, and I believe that that is reflected in everything. So whether it's plants and animals or people or anything in nature, but also I feel that it translates over to possessions as well. Personal possessions, things that we have, everything that you can touch or feel has spirit attached to it. And that's a belief that I personally have in what I see as Indigenous worldview. This means that if I evaluate each item or each possession in my space and decide it's something that I am not appreciating anymore or something that I don't need anymore, then I have a certain sense of responsibility to pass that item on to someone else who might appreciate it more and make the most love and gratitude out of that particular item and be really grateful and appreciative of the spirit within that item. What do you think of using Indigenous worldview and all items have a spiritual being as a motivator or as an approach for your spring cleaning or spiritual cleaning? Is that something that you're going to want to try? Let me know if you find that helpful for yourself. Let me know in the comments. The fifth way that I personally approach spring cleaning through a spiritual perspective, I lean heavily on spiritual energy cleansing in my space. Spiritual cleansing of the energy in your space can be done at springtime, at the beginning of the season, or whenever you feel like the spiritual energy within your entire home or your room or some space specifically needs a spiritual cleanse. If your space has a lot of possessions and a lot of things in it, just doing a basic decluttering can change the energy within your space. It can make you feel lighter and have more space for the negative energy or the stale energy to escape on its own through the air, and also to allow for that positive and new energy and air to enter into the space because there's more space and more room for it, right? Now, cleansing the actual air in your home can make a really big difference as well, just by opening the windows and doors, circulating the air, and allowing fresh air to come into your space can make a really big difference and make it feel a lot fresher. And of course, by smudging with sage, you can also remove that stale and stagnant energy or even negative energy that you don't want in your space anymore, and allow for new and positive energy to be attracted into your space, and allow for that positive energy to come using smudging with intention. Now, I absolutely recommend decluttering or cleaning a little bit before you start your smudge. If you're trying to smudge your entire house for the first time and it's something that you want support on, you can watch this next video where I'm gonna be doing a full smudging tutorial of my entire house, and you can smudge along with me from start to finish. I hope you're able to use Indigenous spirituality to help you to feel more motivated, to respect and honor your space so that you're able to present your best self each and every day and create a calm and clean space for your family, your friends, your loved ones, your community members, whoever you welcome into your home, and use these teachings to help you to live a really balanced and calm and harmonious life in your sacred space that is your home. As always, thank you so much for watching and being a part of this video. This one is really close to my heart and is really, really valuable for me to share it with you, and I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.